Hello scrapbookers, this is Megan and I am back today with a new Cut to You design team layout. So for this one I am going to be using the Spring Roses frame cut file as well as the Spring Roses cut file, and I am going to be scrapbooking 2 photos of me. If you didn't know, if you don't follow me, you might not know that I recently cut my hair. And by cut my hair, I mean chopped it all off. So it was a little bit past my shoulders, and it's summertime here and we're finally getting into the really hot days. And so I decided to shave more than half of my head and then cut my hair down. So here you can see the 2 photos that I decided to use that my husband took of me. And yeah, I absolutely love my hair, and it has been so nice at work because it gets really, really hot where I work. No matter if the air conditioner is on or not, like it gets so hot because we have to wear scrubs and then we have to wear like lab coats and gloves and a shield, and so you get so overly hot. So the last couple weeks have been super nice not having to also have long hair on top of that. Okay, so here you can see I'm kind of playing around with the photo right now. I thought I was going to layer it with that pink floral paper, but I decided that, I don't really like it as much as I thought I did. So I'm going to pull it off of that and I'm going to put it on this dusty pink. And I cannot remember what that is called. I will try to remember to leave a link below, but it is a close to my heart paper. And I want to say it's called Blossom or something like that, or I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I will find it and I will link it below. But I really love the dusty pink color. And so I'm going to just have a little mat behind the photos. And then I'm going to use that gray paper on the background. And that is also close to my heart cardstock. So here I was thinking maybe I would still use that floral, but in the end I decided, nope, I'm not going to do it. I like it with just the dusty pink. Then I had this scrap piece of washi tape just randomly laying on my desk, and so I decided I'm going to use that. So I'm going to glue it down because it was quite a bit not sticky anymore. So I use my tape gun and glue that down. And then now here I'm going to pull out some embellishments, and at first I was thinking I was going to use some flair, so I dumped those out on my desk, but I didn't really like any of them. And then I pull out these pretty Amy Tan phrase stickers, and I am going to use a couple of those on the layout. But first I'm going to start gluing everything down. I'm not going to make you watch this because it does take quite a while to glue down the cut file. But here, this is how I glue mine down, is I pull out my Heidi Swapp mat and I grab my glue. I use my close to my heart Zig glue pen, I think is what it is. I will leave a link below to that as well. I start off with the Rider, like the thin tip one, but it wasn't working very well. And so I end up pulling out the thicker one. And that one works a lot better. So here you can see I'm doing that. Okay, so I have the cut file glued down, and now I'm going to stick my photo under part of the cut file and then hanging out across the layout. And I did find this pineapple, and that is a flare piece from Cheeky Studio, and I thought it was super cute, but I'm gonna not end up using it. Instead, I pull out some old Maggie Holmes. I think these are from the Open Book collection, and they are just vellum, and I think there was one like gold foil floral piece right there. So I'm just gonna do a bunch of layering with flowers, and I really like how that turns out. So that word beautiful is off-white and black, but I really liked it, and so I am just going to use it. I'm not going to worry about it being off-white mixed with white, because you can't really even, I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess you can see the off-white, but it doesn't bother me. Sometimes it does bother me to mix the two, but it didn't really bother me on this layout. I think because I did have the vellum that looked kind of off-white, it didn't really bother me. So I am going to layer 3 florals, and then I'm going to put a gold sequin in the middle of each one of them. And that is called Hexaglam from Spiegelmom Scraps, and I will leave a link down below to her shop as well. I'm going to stamp "Loved This Day" on that left photo because I honestly had such an awesome day that day, and it just turned out so great. Like, when you do a drastic haircut, it always like worries me. Like, I always get worried that I'm not going to end up liking it. But the fact that I just absolutely love it and have enjoyed it so much these past couple weeks, it's just been awesome. So it was a great day. I am going to take this floral and I'm going to cut it. So that is the Spring Roses, and that's just the floral cut file. It's not part of the frame. And so I am going to cut it and just add it down there to add a little bit more to this cluster. So you can see I'm going to cut it off so that it matches up with the frame. And that's when I realized that that bottom piece of the frame I had glued a little wonky, but I didn't want to rip it up, and so I'm just going to go with it. It's okay. You can't really even tell in the end, and it just looks fine. For this piece, I didn't want to mess with the glue again, so I'm just going to glue it down with my ATG tape runner, and that works fine. You can't really see the glue on it, and so it worked out fine. I'm going to glue down that gold piece again, and then I'm going to kind of mess around with the rest of that Spring Roses cut file, and I'm thinking maybe I need to add more to this cluster down there, but in the end I decide not to. I am going to add a small piece there just so there's no empty space or trapped space. And then the next part that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut another piece off of it and add it up in the left-hand corner. I did have this other floral vellum that I thought about adding to the left-hand side of the photos there with the cut file, and that's just not going to look right. So this is where I decide, okay, I'm going to add some more up top. And I'm going to add that vellum flower down at the bottom. Here you can see I am just gluing down these flowers, the vellum flowers, and then I'm going to add a tag up to the top left, and that's just where I'm going to do my journaling. And I am going to do that off camera. So what I decided to say was just, I had been toying with the idea of cutting my hair really short again for a few months. I finally did it, and I am so in love with it. So I'll do that off camera, but I did add the tag, and then I'm going to add another part of that Spring Roses cut file to the top of the tag just to kind of bring in that element of the flower and tie it all together. I did think about bringing in another cluster of flowers from the Maggie Holmes open book collection, but that just didn't look right. So I end up putting a just plain wonderful gray phrase sticker up there at the top. I'm going to glue down that little piece of the cut file, and I think that's going to be it. Actually, I think I pull out some puffy stickers from Close to My Heart, and those ones are super old. I think they're like 2 or 3 years old, quite a few years old. And so I'm going to put an arrow in each one of these clusters, and I really like how that kind of just points your eye right to the important part of that cluster. And here I'm going to glue down this flare, and that is from Cheeky Studio as well. It's a pretty floral. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to run over to the blog and the Facebook page to check everything out. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!